the strength conditioning continuum is something that will help you understand endurance training for strength, how one thing helps the other and vice versa. That's what we're getting into in this video. Hey, I'm Logan Christopher from Legendary Strength, and I want to talk about endurance training, how this affects strength, and really some different ways of thinking about this than I think most people do. So this is a model I came up with years back, the strength conditioning continuum. On one side, we have strength, to the point where we're talking about 1 rep maximum. So whether this is squat, deadlift, press, pull-up, any sort of exercise, limit strength is what we're talking about over here, or maximum. Doesn't really take endurance to do because it takes a few seconds. Even if you're fighting all out for it, you can hold your breath the entire time, not a conditioning exercise. Over here, on the other side, we could put something like an ultra marathon. Really doesn't take any strength, essentially, to do, but certainly a lot of conditioning to be able to pull it off. And since this is a continuum, we kind of have the end limits, what we say we could put on here, but there's things all in between. So a marathon here. And of course there's other things like this. A triathlon would be another type, though we could say that uses a little more strength than say the swimming. Then here, like sets of 5, 10 reps. And somewhere in the middle, we could have, it's still over to the left, but a 20 rep, like a 20 rep squat. But you could do 20 reps in any exercise. And say 100 reps, 200. And this is just count, but I mean, ultimately marathon or more is about more reps of stepping in front of each other. That doesn't take much strength to jog or run, but we can look at this with any sort of exercise. So we could take something like body weight squats. Most people have the strength to do this. It's more a matter of flexibility and mobility for people to be able to do a full range. But you can work on it and people will be able to do dozens, even up to 100 reps. But getting up here, and we could go to 1,000 rep squat set. So understand this continuum. Let's say 1,000 right here. So here's the thing to begin to think about. How much does a 1 rep maximum help you to do a marathon, or vice versa? Not at all. It is because these are too far apart, right? So we got from here to here, way too far. Even if we go back, so 1 rep maximum and a 200 rep squat. Still, I feel these are too far apart to really affect one another. And part of this is with conditioning, right? You're using less of the muscles firing, and you're going more into the energy systems of the body, recycling ATP, Krebs cycle, lactic acid, all that stuff that is involved. But when we start to get over here, right, does a 1 rep maximum and a 20 rep squat, do these help support each other? And I would argue, yes, they do. It's hard to say exactly how much of a range, but if we say the range is like this, just see that these are too far, but these are close enough to impact itself. And of course, does a 1 and a 5 rep. You increase your 5 rep, what you're able to do with that, any exercise once again, that is definitely going to push up your 1 rep maximum. And I would argue, same thing here. If you push up your 20 rep squat, it's going to help your 1 rep maximum. If you push up your 1 rep maximum, it's going to help your 20 rep squat. Now, everyone's a little individual, and some people may find that certain rep schemes work better for them, but this principle holds true even if the range isn't exactly, and it may change a little bit depending on which body parts we're talking about. But once again, 1 rep maximum won't really help you with a 1,000 rep squat or a marathon or anything like that. But we can do over here on the same sort of thing. Let's say in here, this is certainly a strength endurance exercise, a strength conditioning, but we can say not just reps, but we have something like hill sprints. Very explosive exercise, takes strength, but it's also a conditioning exercise, even though this would be what's called HIIT training, high intensity intervals, typically, and it really depends on the type of hill that you're doing. I like to do hill sprints, a 30-second burst, walk down the hill, repeat that. That's been a very useful thing that I've got back to many times over the years. But you could also run like a 100-yard or 200-yard, mile-long hill, different ranges of hills, so long hill run. Same thing that's true over here is also true over here. So you want to get better at your marathon time. A lot of people finding doing some sort of interval training is helping them out with that. So the strength training is helping the endurance and vice versa. So one of the things I want to address in here is sometimes people get stuck in these limited rep ranges. And one thing that can help you with that is to break outside of it. So let's say you're doing 3 sets of 10 on squats and you've been doing this for a couple months, you're hitting a plateau. What should you do? Well, go up the continuum or go down or even go both. Do some higher rep stuff. Have you ever done a set of 50 reps in a weighted squat? Or work with singles. Either way, this is likely to break you out of that plateau, give you a different way to advance. When we're talking about endurance training, there is one other thing I want to address. This is very important, is that with this range, you're getting a lot of movement with the body. This can be really helpful for just increasing circulation and increasing the flow of lymph in the body. This is especially important for just supporting health and recovery. So some amount of this endurance work can absolutely impact this, just more on the recovery side of things. This is a little bit about how I think about strength and conditioning, and I think it is a good model that works for a lot of people. So be sure to click subscribe if you like this video, like it, and also head on over to legendarystrength.com. Got a lot more on building strength, on building endurance over there. Thanks for watching.